Welcome to a World of Good podcast. I'm Nate Tatman.
And I'm Andrew Gale.
And we are two friends
who love Jesus,
care about the church,
and travel the world to share stories of people who do the same.
Our conversations happen in all kinds of places,
like a coffee shop and an airport terminal,
or even the back of a crowded taxi.
But no matter where we go, from Argentina to Zimbabwe,
we capture stories of the good God is doing around the world.
And we hope those stories will do you a world of good. Welcome to a World of Good podcast. My name is Andrew Gale, and you may hear a little bit of background noise here because we are outside of the main church hall for Sungdong Church in Seoul, South Korea. We're at the Asia Pacific Conference, where I have the opportunity to meet with a number of leaders from across Asia, and I'm sitting with two of my favorite people, Samarpita and Neha Sahu, that serve in India. And I just want to hear a little bit about the work that you're doing and the things that are happening in Cuttack and with the shelter. But it's also just so good to see both of you. We met back in 2009, 2010?
Yes.
Somewhere around there when my wife and I were a part of a Children of Promise trip to come over and visit the shelter. And then you guys were just living there on the property, right?
Yes, we were just students.
Yeah, you were just students. And now to think 12 years later, all that you're doing and the work that you're doing. But before we jump into that, tell us a little about where you live in India. You're from India, but give us a little bit of a context where Cuttack is in the whole country of India.
Hello, Andrew. It's so nice to have an introduction by you about us. We are so excited to be with you and attending the same meeting. And about your question, I belong to Orissa, eastern part of India.
Yeah.
And Cuttack is the district.
Okay, so Orissa is the state.
Just not, the capital is Bhubaneswar. The Cuttack is a little bit northern to the capital city of Orissa.
Okay, so if India was like, it kind of comes at a diamond there on the east side.
Yes.
And Orissa is that kind of that elbow that
Yes.
points out there.
Yes. It's just the corner, just the state below the West Bengal.
State below
So,
West Bengal.
West Bengal,
Okay,
yes.
and Cuttack is a city just north of Bhubaneswar, which is the capital
Yes.
of Orissa.
No, Bhubaneswar is the capital.
Okay.
Cuttack was is the oldest capital.
Oh, the oldest
Yeah,
capital.
it has changed to Bhubaneswar now.
Okay, but it used to be the capital.
Yes.
So did you both grow up in Cuttack?
Yes. I was born in another district, like my maternal village.
Okay.
But born and brought up in Cuttack
Okay, wonderful.
because my father has been working in Cuttack.
Okay. And what did your father do in Cuttack?
He was working in the shelter.
Okay.
When I joined the shelter, he was my manager.
So both
And
dad
now-
and boss.
Yes. And now he has retired, but his service has been extended for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. And Neha, you live in Cuttack as well.
Yes.
What is your role? Because you don't work directly at the shelter, correct?
No.
So
No.
so what do you do?
I volunteer my sister Sam
Okay.
with childcare and some teaching sometimes. Overall, just a help to my sister and
Yeah.
as we are staying there also.
And it's so good. I actually saw Neha last night. I'm going to tell a story on myself. We get to the Asia Pacific Conference, and I had heard that both Neha and Sam were going to be here, and I was so excited. And everyone's wearing masks. And I went up to Neha and was so confident that you were Sam. And I got so excited to say hi to you. And you were so generous and kind to say, well, Sam's back resting, and I'm Neha. And I felt so embarrassed. But it was so good to see you and so
Yeah.
grateful that you're both here for this conference.
I'm so glad my sister is known to many and through her I'm been known to many. Yeah.
So Sam, tell us a little bit about the shelter. For those that, a lot of people will probably know what the shelter is. But for those that don't know, what is the shelter?
Shelter now has reached 108 years journey. It started in 1914.
Wow, 1914.
14.
Wow.
It started as an orphanage, but now since 2017, it has been transferred to hostel.
Okay.
Due to some government limitations.
Yeah.
National government limitations. We cannot run orphanage. Only government can run an orphanage.
Okay.
So now we have turned it to hostel. But our main intention is to take care of girls in
Okay.
the shelter, because that has been continued to serve girls only.
Okay, so the shelter is primarily a home. You can't call it an orphanage anymore, but a
We
home,
call it
a hostel.
but it's not a hostel, and not in a form of exact hostel kind of thing. But we get sponsored. They are sponsored by Children of Promise.
Yes.
But a part of our Church of God in Cuttack,
Yeah.
and we take total care of those children, the girls.
they live with you for
the
all-
girls, because it's they're everything.
Yeah.
Everything is taken. So like, as Children of Promise says, the wholeness. So we take the
Yes.
whole care of the Children of Promise.
Yeah. And especially for
the
these girls,
children,
because they're
the
living
girls.
there. I mean,
So we take whole care, like nutrition, food, spiritual, medical, everything, education, everything. So we do not take help from anybody except
Yeah.
Children of Promise. So that has been a blessing to us.
yes, absolutely. Children Promise is an incredible organization.
Yes. And it surprises me to know how their life has been changed. The girls'
Yeah.
girls' life. So even in this meeting, I met Brother Barton.
Yeah.
He has been sponsoring our shelter girls, one or two shelter girls. Right now, he's sponsoring 2 girls,
Wow.
present girls. There are so many sponsors who are sponsoring our girls.
That really changes the
yes,
life
yes.
of these girls.
Not only shelter, I look after 2 other programs, other
Okay.
Children of Promise programs. So one is daycare center in Kalahandi, that's a rural village.
Yeah.
And another center, all the children from most northern part of in Orissa, like nearby district, northern northern to Cuttack. They are the children are sponsored by Children of Promise, but they stay with their parents.
Okay.
So I
So there's
look
3
out-
programs that you're in charge of.
Yes,
The
in
girls,
Orissa.
Yeah, the girls that are
In
at the shelter, and then Kalahandi, and then this northern. Wow, that's incredible.
So
At the shelter, how many girls?
right now I have 70. 70.
70. Okay, wow.
Girls, and they are from different part of Orissa, not necessarily from Cuttack.
Okay.
Yes.
So from all over the state,
Yes,
and
yes,
they come
yes,
there.
Yes.
And they go to school there.
They go to school. We have our own school, it's semi-aided by government,
Okay.
but most the organization, the administration is run by our church association.
Okay.
So partially funded by government.
Okay.
The school, we have 2 schools now. Both of the schools are in Oriya medium, the Oriya language,
Okay.
local language. So one school is primary, we call Shelter Primary School, that is from class 1 to 5, and
Okay.
the high school, Sanat Nalini Guys and Girls High School, that is from class 6 to 10.
Wow.
And they go to the higher secondary school, which we call junior college. But that is not ours, that is secular.
Okay.
We send them because it's nearby. And the good students there who are eligible to go to the other college, good colleges,
That's wonderful.
they can go also.
That's awesome.
So after their class 12, we send them for nursing training. So many
Okay.
have gone to nursing training. One sponsored girl is still pursuing nursing training.
That's awesome. And I was going to ask, are there any stories you can share of girls' lives that have been changed through the work of the shelter?
Recently, I'll talk about a girl who, Halima.
Okay.
Halima, she was sponsored by Brother Barton.
Okay.
And she completed her school studies, college studies. She went to the nursing. She became a nurse.
Wow.
She became a nurse where she was studying.
Wow.
In Orissa, in a hospital, in a Christian hospital, she was studying. And then she got married and she's having a daughter.
Wow.
So when she came to the hostel, the hostel only knew she had a brother only.
Okay.
So I think because then I was not there, I had not joined the shelter. So only her brother was there and her relatives who were not in contact then.
Okay.
And so now she has a family of her own.
Wow. That's
And
a wonderful
she's staying
story.
in Delhi.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. And is she a nurse? Is she able to do some?
Now because she's a recent mother, new
Oh,
mother,
yes.
so she has taken off.
Yeah.
But-
That's great. But we're
And
gonna try-
apart from that, many other girls who are now coming. Then the hostel, when it was an orphanage, girls were not allowed to go back to their home.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now, because we have turned it to hostel, if they go to their home, to their families on vacations.
Okay. So during breaks, they can go back and be with their family.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Recently, we have a girl who is in class 6. She, right now, she's diagnosed with a hole in heart.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But she was treated. But now she has gone to her parents' house because then they wanted to take some decision on her treatment.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we are available to take any treatment to any extent.
Wow.
And only God and through Children of Promise we are able to do that.
That's awesome that you're able to really take care of the whole
Yes,
child,
yes,
and
yes,
really,
yes.
really care for them.
Yes.
Really, really
so
beautiful.
we see some good benefits of going home, because previously they were staying in the hostel.
Yeah.
They were not knowing the outside world, but
Yeah.
now because they are going out, they know the plus and minus of outside world.
Yeah.
So they are seeing both the sides of the world.
Yeah. They can still know their
Yes,
family and have those
yes,
connections, but also get the care that they
Yeah.
need.
So now they know the difference. They know the how much the sponsors are doing for them.
Making a difference.
Yes.
Now, your work in Kalahandi, I was able to visit that when I was there as
Okay.
well,
Oh.
which is a long drive. I remember that experience
Yes.
getting there. But I remember that, Kalahandi was an outreach of the church in Katakan, the shelter, which is just incredible to think about, that this church that was taking care of girls then also saw this other community and said, we feel like we need to help them as well. And they're even socioeconomically at an even more disadvantage.
Yes.
How is that work going? How is that work going in Kalahandi? You said there's a daycare there now?
Yes, they are given cooked food.
Okay.
A meal a
Yeah.
day, and they come for extra classes. Apart from going to school, the children from that village only, they come to have some tutor classes, and then they go back. Every day they get cooked meal,
Yeah.
some groceries like dry food.
Yeah.
There, monthly.
I remember when we went there.
Dry food is given monthly.
Okay. I remember when we went there was a lot of malnutrition in that community.
Kalahandi is considered as one of the BPL village in Orissa. BPL means below poverty line.
Oh, okay. Below the poverty line.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was surprised at the malnutrition and the socioeconomic status. And it was beautiful to see. At that time, it was Asim and Mama Tadas who were in
Yes.
charge, to see their heart for really reaching that community and to making sure that they were reaching outside to those that needed help, the vulnerable.
Yes. Not only Kalahandi, that is a part of our project, so we all know. But apart from that village, there are so many villages we are still not able to reach, because the condition in Orissa is very difficult now because of the Hindu fundamentalists.
Yes.
But otherwise, there are so many poor villages, poorer than Kalahandi.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is even in Kalahandi, we are supporting them, but the sad news is that they are not accepting God's word.
Yeah.
So because the benefit is only attracting them,
Yeah.
but otherwise.
But with time.
But with time, we are still praying. God will not leave.
Yeah.
The place where seed is sowed, so
Yes.
God will surely work.
Absolutely. Now, Sam, you took on this role a couple years ago.
I took
being the
on
director
this
of the
role,
shelter.
yes, 2018.
18. Okay.
18. I worked 6 months with Sister Mamata,
Yeah.
but then after, But apart from that, I grew up in shelter.
Yes.
Because when shelter also had an English medium school, which started in 1988.
Okay.
Me and my friends, we were the first batch of that school.
Oh, wow.
Sadly, that school is closed down now
Yeah.
because of COVID.
Yeah. But you were the first graduates from that school. And I knew you lived
Yes,
right there on the
yes.
property with your family.
We are still living in that property now.
Oh.
And me and the shelter girls, we grew up together. So we were like sisters. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask that question. As you went through schooling, what caused you to say, I want to help run the shelter? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, because after Sister Mamata retired,
Yeah.
I got a call like, there is a vacancy if you will want to, because otherwise I was working in other non-profit organization.
Okay. Because your degree is in social work?
I did my master's in social work.
Okay.
So I got that if you want to apply, you can.
Yeah.
You may. So I did. I gave my resume. And then I never knew I would be working there because I grew up there.
Yeah.
I knew something about shelter, but not as much as Sister Mamta was doing. It was kind of a home for me, but working in the office was nothing. I mean, I had no idea. So I saw my dad working there. I knew something from him also. But when I got selected, I was a little bit afraid and scared. Like that was a big responsibility. And I was scared to sit on the chair also.
Yeah. To be the person in charge. Yeah.
Yes. So I didn't get a Damascus, Paul got a Damascus call.
Yeah.
Call from God. But it was very...
Yeah. No road to Damascus, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it was like blessing to me by God, because I grew in shelter. So this is my responsibility. I will do something for the shelter, at least for the girls.
I know those listening can't see you, but they need to know how young you are. You've stepped into this role at a very young age. Has that been a challenge in India, or how have you dealt with being a young person in a very prominent role?
Yes, even still now, until now, when I hear people praying that may God help Sam because she is at a very young age, that makes me happy also. I am 36 years old, 37 years old.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's difficult for the girls to accept, because they see me at a very young age as compared to Sister Mamata.
Sure.
That is a challenge for me, especially for the older girls who are in college, who are in high school. They accept me. It was not very easy for them to accept.
Yeah, I imagine that would be really challenging, but I also think it's such a gift that they get to see a young person like you in a leadership role and making an impact, and to be reminded that their lives at a young age, they can be making an impact. And I want to call you young because I just found out I'm only a year older than you. So as long as you're young, I feel young. But I wanted to say how grateful I am to see young leaders in the Church of God around the world. It brings me joy that there's another generation that's stepping into roles of leadership. And I often feel very underqualified in the role that I have as a young person. And so I love to see other young people taking the mantle of leadership and leading so well, because we've seen you lead very well.
Thank you for the honor, but I would also honor Sister Mamata, because she has left what I'm carrying it now.
Yeah. And I was so grateful to get to meet her and Asim Das and spend time with them. They are wonderful leaders and very blessed and grateful for their work and grateful that they were willing to hand the mantle to you so that you could take that and continue that incredible work.
Yes.
Neha, would you tell us about what you do in your job and your connections?
I work for clubfoot deformity. That is a congenital deformity on the foot. Babies are born with twisted foot. So I represent Odisha, and as an organization, we have in every state of India. So we have clinics and we work with doctors to make sure the treatment is given free to every children born with clubfoot.
Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible. So cleft foot, and so you have a medical background or working in the medical field?
Yeah, I studied clinical psychology.
Okay.
So in line of counseling, and then through that.
That's awesome.
Yes, through experience of counseling and working with parents and doctors, like a bridge between doctor and parents.
Which makes you then, I'm sure, also a great resource to your sister at the shelter.
Yes.
I would rather say she has been a support to me, because when my children, my girls, they suffer they need medical help, I quickly take her help, because she is in contact with so many government doctors.
That's wonderful.
And helping the children of shelter, even in my family or any time, the medical doctors, their help means a lot in time of need.
Yeah.
So, and through that, as a Christian organization, we also try to tell them about love of Jesus.
Oh, yes.
So
Wonderful.
we work like spiritually and
Yeah.
then physically correcting the twisted feet and telling how healing can be make.
That's
Change
awesome.
their life.
That's awesome. Thank you for that work. That's important work.
Yes.
So, one of the questions, the name of this podcast is A World of Good. And one of the questions we love to end with is by asking, how have you seen God's good work in the world that you live and work in today?
It is amazing to see people from rural part of India or any rural part of the world and people from affluent countries. Everybody pray for the same reason, same girl we care for.
Yes.
And even for me, I get very surprised when I break down sometimes. I get prayer support from everybody,
Yeah.
not only financially. When prayer works, it works in a very amazing way.
Yeah.
And God has been God has been blessing me till now. I have challenges,
Yeah.
but I have all good reasons to say and explain
Yeah.
when I
Support system.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, we will keep praying for you, Sam and Neha. Thank you so much for sharing. And it sounds like service is starting, so, so we should get in there. But thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story.
thank you
today.
so much. Yeah, we are so honored to be in this podcast. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to A World of Good. A World of Good is a podcast production of Global Strategy and Church of God Ministries. Our theme song is Colorado by Leo Flores. If you want to join the conversation, visit us at Twitter at A World of Good Pod, on Instagram, A World of Good Podcast, or visit our website, chagglobal.org/A World of Good. And join us next time as we share more stories of good from around the world.